Hello BookTube, hello friends, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I would like to hopefully finish up my sorting out my Cozies project. I have, for the most part, gotten them sorted, but I missed a couple of series that I neglected to tell you about in the earlier episodes, and I have a TBR bin full of cozy mysteries that are in my TBR jar, and then I have some series that are by multiple authors. So I thought I would just wrap all those up into this one video. And then also I have done a little bit of book shopping in the last little while since things have started opening back up, and I'm going to do a cozy mystery book haul. And so before I finish filming all the footage for this video, I'll film a book haul and show you the new stuff I got, and then I'll put that all away and then film a couple of frames and show you everything done, and that'll wrap this up. So let's go now to the books that I have not shown you yet. One series I forgot to show you in one of the earlier videos is the White House Chef Mysteries by Julie Heisey. The reason I didn't think to show you these is because they were all loaned out at the time. We read State of the Onion, which is book 1, for our mystery book club a couple of months ago, and enjoyed it so much that I've been passing around my copies of the first 6 books, and I have now gotten back 2 of them, and the other 3 that I own are still loaned out. So the first book is State of the Onion, and I absolutely loved this. I've talked about it in multiple videos. It was so good. I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of these. Book 2 is loaned out right now. It is called Hail to the Chef. And then this is book 3, Executive Orders. I think this takes place at Easter. And then book 4 is Buffalo West Wing. Book 5 is Affairs of Steak. And then this is book 6, Fonduing Fathers. There are 3 other books in this series. All of the titles in this series is great. I don't own the last 3, but just to share with you the titles. Home of the Braised is number 7. Number 8 is All the President's Menus. And then number 9 is Foreign Eclairs. So I'm just really super excited about this series, and I'm so glad that I loved the first one, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the series. Now, here's another series that it's only a series of 3. I was keeping these with my Christian fiction because these are Christian cozy mysteries, but I got to thinking that since all my other mysteries are in here, I should just bring these back here. I have read all 3 of these, and the third one I believe I sent to my sister, and she still has it. But this is the first book, A Case of Bad Taste. It's by Lori Copeland. And book 2, A Case of Crooked Letters by Lori Copeland. And then book 3 is called A Case of Nosy Neighbors. I love this series. I talked about this series in my Christian Cozy Mystery video that I did a few weeks ago. So if you have not seen that video, I hope you will check it out. Okay, so next we're going to go through this bin, and let me explain a little bit about what is in here. Now, this bin contains mostly cozy mysteries. There are a few books in here that are fiction books that are not cozies, but you'll see what they are as we go through this bin. But just to give you a little bit of background, now a couple of years ago when I was going through my shelves and trying to weed out some books, I put together a bin of mostly nonfiction books that I thought I could read and get rid of, or, pass on to someone else, or maybe I wasn't sure if I wanted to read it or not. I would just take a look at them and then decide if I wanted to, put it back on my shelf, take time to read it, or what. So I made a TBR jar out of those books. And I had, at the time, just a few fiction books that I kind of felt the same way about. And of the Cozy Mystery series that are represented here, these are series that mostly I didn't or don't own the first one of, and I didn't know if I wanted to hang on to these books in order to, wait till I could find the first one and then read through the series or what. So that's kind of what this box is. So there's just a mishmash of books in here. You have seen this one recently because I did finally read the first book in this series, which is called The Long Quiche Goodbye by Avery Ames. This is book 7 for Cheddar or Worse. So I have not gotten rid of this yet, although I think now after reading the first one that I'm not that interested in reading through the whole series. I'm still going back and forth. I may see if the library has book 2 and try it, or I might just go ahead and read this one and then let it go. Probably I'm 60% leaning towards that. Melinda, don't get upset with me. Melinda from Two Boys Scrappin' is like me in that she likes to read things in order, and I do too. I just don't know if I'm that interested in this, so maybe I should just let it go. I don't know. Anyway, so here's what else we have here. I've got a couple of books. Well, let's see. This one I only have one by this author. It is by Katie Munger, Out of Time. It's a Casey Jones mystery. And so basically, if I draw out one of these from my TBR jar, this is number 2, then my thought process or my plan is to then go to the library, see if I can find the first one, and see if it's a series that I want to continue. So when I draw this one out, I will need to find the first one and read it first, and then decide if I'm going to keep this one or, and read it or whatever. So here we have 2 by Linda O. Johnston. Hounds Abound is number 3 in this pet rescue series. Oodles of Poodles is also in the series, and I neglected to write down what number. Okay, I paused it so I could look it up. It is number 4 in the series. Okay, so then I also have a couple of books from the Pizza Lovers mystery series by Chris Cavender. And let me look and see what number these are. So A Pizza to Die For is number 3 in this series. And then I have a hardcover of Rest in Pizza, and it is number 4 in the series. Now, some of these are actually first in series, but maybe they are the only ones that I have in their particular series. And so I just thought I would put them in my TBR jar to give me motivation to try out the series and see if it's a series that I want to pursue. So I have this one. This is first in the book group mystery series called Murder at the Book Group. It is by Maggie King. And then this is also first in its series. It's called Buttonholed. It's by Kylie Logan. And these are the Button Box Mysteries. Then this is number 2 in the Raven's Nest Bookstore Mystery Series by Allison Kingsley. It's called A Sinister Sense. And then I have 3 here by Jen McKinley. The one I'm probably most interested in is her Library Lovers Mysteries. This is the first one, Books Can Be Deceiving. I also have book 1 in the Cupcake Bakery Mystery Series called Sprinkle with Murder. I also have book 5 in the Hat Shop Mystery Series called Assault and Beret. And since I put this in here, I have listened to the first one of these on audio on Audible Escape, and I did enjoy it. So I still don't know if I will collect any more of the series, but I probably will at least hang on to this one and go ahead and read up to it at least before I get rid of this one. I do own 2 of the books in the Maggie Sefton Knitting Mystery Series. This is book 10, Cast On, Kill Off. And I also have Close Knit Killer. And I have been reading this series for quite a while. My sister and I have both been reading it. I just have not tried to collect the series. But every once in a while, if I come across one at a book sale, like a fill-a-bag situation, if it's one that I haven't read, I will pick it up. But they're in here because I just kind of needed the motivation to go ahead and finish this series off. I started out really enjoying it, and the last 2, maybe 3, I have not enjoyed nearly as much. So I definitely am not going to keep these and reread them or anything like that. But I had these on the shelf, and so I just went ahead and stuck them in the TBR jar so that if I draw one out, I can go ahead and have that extra motivation to read the next one and then move it on out. Here's one that I hear a lot of people speak really highly of, and I just have not found the motivation to pick it up. It's Maisie Dobbs by Jacqueline Woodson. This is the only one I have. This is the first book in the series. If you've read this, maybe you can sell me on it. Maybe you could twist my arm to read it, or maybe I'll just wait till I draw it out of my TBR jar. But I do have it, and at some point, hopefully, I will at least read the first one and see what all the fuss is about. I believe that Catherine from Jane Catherine on Books sent me this one. I don't know anything about it, but it looks like it has something to do with maybe horse racing and gambling, which is not really my thing, but I will give this book a try. It's by Simon Brett, called Blood at the Bookies. Here are a few in my box that are not mysteries, at least I don't believe they are. Quilted Lilies by Anne Hazelwood. Watership Down, of course, a classic by Richard Adams. Midwives by Chris, is it Bojalian? I hope I'm saying that right. Beloved by Toni Morrison. And then the last one in here that is not a mystery, at least I don't believe it is Southern Nights by Janet Daly. This is the Florida installment in her Americana series. I believe there is a book in the series that represents each state in the U.S. When I first put the Al Roker series in the box, I did not have number 1, but now I do. It's called The Morning Show Murders. He also has a writing companion, Dick, is it Lochte? And I don't know anything about these, but I read both of the Willard Scott mysteries, and so I wanted to also read Al Roker's books. And this is book 2, sorry about the glare, The Midnight Show Murders, and then book 3, The Talk Show Murders. All right, I think my sister may have given me this one. It's called Dying to Read by Lorena McCourtney. It is book 1 in the Kate Kincaid files. And then I have a few of the Booktown Mysteries by Lorna Barrett. This is book 8, Not the Killing Type. I have book 9, Book Clubbed. And then book 10, Tidal Wave. I also just recently found a few of these at Goodwill, and they will be featured in my book haul, but they are all paperbacks. But at least I did find some earlier books in the series, so I will be showing you those later. Okay, I think this one may be a middle grade mystery, and it may also be a Christian book, and I think it has an Amish theme. It's called The Quilted Message by Ken Monroe, and on the back it says that these kids are trying to figure out a message in an Amish quilt. I think I only had 2 of these from this series when I first put this box together, so I did not have number 1 until more recently. The series is The Gourmet Girl Mysteries by Jessica Conant Park and Susan Conant. I believe Susan Conant is also the author of the Dog Mysteries. So this is book 1, Steamed. I don't own book 2, but I have book 3, Turn Up the Heat. Book 4 is Fed Up. And book 5, Cook the Books. And I believe there are only 5 in the series. And then this series was not in the box, but it is in the TBR jar because I did not have the first one when I first put this together, and I have tried it on audio and I didn't finish it, but I want to give it a second chance. I have since found the first book. It's the Thursday Next series by Jasper Ford. The first book is The Air Affair, and I believe this is about a time-traveling literary detective. Book 2 is Lost in a Good Book. I don't have book 3. Book 4 is Something Rotten. And book 5 is Thursday Next, First Among Sequels. and I believe there are 7 in the series altogether. I have heard people speak very highly of these, and I really do want to give it a full chance. I just could not get into the first book whenever I tried it a couple of years ago. So I'll give it another shot at some point, and we'll see how. I got these all boxed up to put away, and then I discovered that there was one book behind the next bin over, which has some audiobooks in it. It had slipped down behind that bin. I thought that I still had book 9 to read. This is book 9 in the Maggie Sefton Knitting Mysteries, called Unraveled. I showed you book 10 and 11, I think, and this is the one that I need to read next. Okay, I think the last group of books I have left to show you, I have stacked them all down here on my washer and dryer. These are my Guideposts mystery series and my Annie's mystery series. I have a few different series of each. And so I don't know if you want to see the covers of all of these or not, but I guess if you don't, you can always turn off the video. If you just want to see the guideposts, I'll do those next. And if you want to only see the Annies, then I will leave some timestamps down in the description so that you can skip over to that. So let me start with the ones that I have lesser amounts of. This is one I just read in March, actually. The series is Secrets of Mary's Bookshop. The first book is by Kristen Eckhart, and the book is called A New Chapter. And then I have just recently found book 2, which I showed in my Cozy Mystery Book Haul, which may have already been uploaded by the time you see this. Anyway, I'm not really planning to collect this whole series. I don't even know how many there are. But I had this one, and when I ran across book 2, I decided to go ahead and pick it up, especially since I read and enjoyed this first one. Then I have 2 books in the Tea Room Mysteries, and I believe these have different authors. Yes, they do. I love these covers. I only have 2 from this series, and I recently noticed that these are on audio on Hoopla, so these are likely to be the next ones that I get around to. This one is called Tea Room for Two by Susan Page Davis, and then book 2 is called Tea Rose by Erin Keeley Marshall. And then I have one here, no, I'm sorry, I have 2 from the Mystery and the Minister's Wife series. I don't have book 1. This one's Beauty Shop Tales. It is book 3. And then this one is called For the Least of These. It is book 14. Wow. And it's by Charlotte Carter. Beauty Shop Tales is by Beth, is it Patillo or Patillo? I don't know. So a lot of these guidepost series are written by multiple authors. One example of a series that is listed under one author's name, but I believe I have heard that this is actually still written by multiple authors. They just use the same pseudonym. The name is Emily Thomas, and the series is Secrets of the Blue Hill Library. My sister has read some of these and really has enjoyed them. That is a beautiful cover and a beautiful house on that cover. I think that is the Blue Hill Library. It says on the cover that this fictitious library was built in 1896. I don't know if you can see that, but that building is from 1896. Gorgeous. This is book 2, Shadows of the Past. I believe, yes, this is book 3, Unlocking the Truth. Book 4, Theft and Thanksgiving. You don't see too many books set at Thanksgiving. A lot at Christmas, but not that many at Thanksgiving. Book 7. So I don't have book 5 or 6. Gone in a Flash is book 7. And book 8, All Sewn Up. Then I have book 9, If Walls Could Talk. I have book 13, Without a Trace. Book 14, Stage Struck. Book 15, All That Glitters. Book 16, Lights, Camera, Action. Book 17, Mum's the Word. 18, Sidetracked Suspicions. And book 20, Finding Home. So I have a few missing ones throughout all of that. I don't know if you recall, but it's been several months ago now. I think it was sometime last year, maybe a little over a year ago. I was at a library bookstore, and it happened to be the evening before they were going to be having a half-price sale. And I saw 10 of these on their shelf. And so I made myself wait and hurried back the next morning, and it was like the second person in the door, made a beeline for these books, and I got them for $1 a piece. They were only going to be $2 a piece, which is still a great deal, but I ended up getting 10 that I did not have, so that was exciting. All right, let's see what else we. All right, next let's go through the church choir mysteries. These are by various authors. I have most of these. I think I'm missing about 5 of them scattered throughout the series. This is book 1 by Sandy Dangler called The Wicked Step Twister. This is book 2 by Nicola Furlong called The Unsuitable Suitor. I don't have book 3. This is book 4, The Missing Hydrangeas by Eileen M. Berger. Book 5, also by Eileen M. Berger, The Highly Suspicious Halo. Book 6 by Roberta Updegraff, The Unnimble Thimble. Book 8 by Roberta Updegraff, The Kidnappers Club. By Eileen M. Berger, The Coin Conspiracy. It's book 9. Puzzle in Patchwork by Roberta Updegraff. This is book 12. No Safe Arbor by Nicola Furlong. This is book 13. And book 14 by Rhonda Blecker called Maim That Tune. Then I have book 15 by Sandy Dangler, The Comatose Cat. Book 16 by Evelyn Minshall, The Greedy Auctioneer. Book 17, The Sad Clown Affair by Nicola Furlong. Book 18, The Regrettable Rumors by Eileen M. Berger. 19, Plots and Pans, sorry about the glare, by Nicola Furlong. Let's just move up here. Mischief in Mason City by Evelyn Minshall. This is book 20. The Doubtful Doctor by Eileen M. Berger. Book 21. The Case of the Grandfather Clock by Roberta Updegraff. Book 22. And the last one I have, The Disappointed Diva by Evelyn Minshall, and it's book 23. And the last guidepost series that I have to show you is the Patchwork Mysteries, and these are by various authors. I've also got a helper right now. This is Sweetie, and she jumped up here to see what I was doing. It's actually the next day now. I had to stop filming yesterday. It was getting late. It was getting gray and dark, and the family started getting home, and I just couldn't finish up this video until now. So Family Patterns is written by Kristen Eckhart. This whole series is about a quilt restorer. I have really enjoyed the first 5 that I've read. The next one is Time to Share by Joanne Brown. And the third one is Muslin Mystery by Vera Dodge. The fourth one is Timeless Treasures by Kara Putman. This is the only one that I've had to order online. I have the whole series now except for book 15. And if I get up to that one and I still haven't found it in any kind of used situation, then I will order it. Most of these were given to me by a friend from church at our old church that disbanded a few years ago. And I think she started me out with maybe the first, I don't know, maybe it was around 14. And then I have found 16 through to the end at thrift stores and whatnot. And so I'm still just looking for book 15. Anyway, I have read book 5, Homespun Holiday. I just read this one this year. The author is Kelly Ann Riley. And as you can see, this one is a Christmas theme. Although I didn't get it read at Christmas, it was, I think, March or later when I finally got it read. So the next one I need to read is by Susan Page Davis. It is called Pieces of the Past. And then the next one is also by Kristen Eckhart. She wrote the first one. This one is Threads of Truth. The next one is called... Hang on, I'm having to look up the authors. The frustrating thing with this series is that the author's name is not printed on the front. You have to actually open the book and look inside. So this next one, Secret in the Stitches, is by Joanne Brown. I love the covers on these. They're so cute. The next one is by Cami Tang, Bound in Love. And the next one is by Kelly Ann Riley, Yesterday's Secrets. The next one here is called Squared Away. It's by Kara Putman. The next one is Mystery on the Midway. It is by Vera Dodge. I've lost track of the numbers. The numbers are on the spine. That's number 12. A Quilt of Memories. Number 13. It is by... Oh, sorry. Well... I don't know who this one is by. Kristen Eckhart. Okay, so she has written several of these. The House on Lookout Mountain is book 14, and it's by Joanne Brown. So as I mentioned, I don't have book 15, so skipping to book 16, Nothing to Hide by Susan Page Davis. The next one is a Christmas-themed book, and it is by Kelly Ann Riley, called The Christmas Quilt. The next one is by Kristen Eckhart, Torn in Two. And the next one is called Secrets in the Storm. It is by Susan Page Davis. And the next one is by Cami Tang, The Price of Truth. The next one is by Kelly Ann Riley, A Mother's Love. I really like the next one. It is by Kristen Eckhart. Look at that covered wagon. The Calico Trail. And then the next one, which is book 23, is by Joanne Brown. The Thousand Stories Quilt. Book 24 is by Cami Tang. As Close as My Heart. Book 25 is A Spot of Trouble. And it is by Kelly Ann Riley. Then the next one... It's called Threads of Love, and it is by Susan Page Davis. And the last one is called Something Borrowed. It's by Cami Tang, and I believe this is the last one in the series. I haven't noticed that any more have been added to the series since I have been collecting them. So as far as I know, this is the end of this. Okay, lastly, let's take a look at the Annie's mysteries that I have. This first original series is simply called Annie's Attic, and I have this many of these. These are not something I really set out to collect. I stumbled across the first few. Someone may have even given them to me, and if I find them and they're a good price, then I will pick them up, but I don't generally seek them out. But like I said, if I'm at a book sale and the price is right, then I will go ahead and grab them. I have seen these and some of the Guidepost books for $5 or more, and I generally don't get them at that price. I tend to just get them if, you know, they're in a fill-a-bag situation or something like that. Anyway, I don't know anything about these. I have not read any of them. I think that the Annie's Company centers around crafting. I think they do offer some craft supplies, and they also do publishing, because a lot of their series have to do with needlework or crafting of some sort. I think they also publish a children's series that is geared more towards girls. So anyway, here's what I have. The first one by Tara Randall is The Lady in the Attic. Book 2, Medals in the Attic by Kathy Elliott. And number 3, The Photo Album by Marlene Chase. Then I have Letters in the Attic by Deanna Julie Dodson. That's book 4. Map in the Attic by Jolyn Sharp. That's book 5. I don't have book 6, but I have book 7, Ragdoll in the Attic by Jan Fields. I have book 10, Emeralds in the Attic by Jan Fields. And book 11, The Wedding Dress. It's by Mary O'Donnell. And book 12, The Valise in the Attic by Jan Fields. Book 19, Guns and Roses by Karen Kelly. Book 21, Stony Point Christmas by K.D. McCreight. And the last one I have is book 24, Jazzed by Donna Kelly. And I don't remember if this is the last one or not. These may still be being written. I don't really know at all. Okay, so let's move on. The next Annie series that I want to tell you about is the Annie's Mysteries Unraveled. If you look at the logo there, you'll see a crochet hook and some yarn. So that to me indicates that these have a crochet theme. This first book, Designs to Die For, is by Jan Fields. And I have not read any of these. Unraveled Stalkings by K.D. McCreight is book 2. The Azalea Bones by Mary M. O'Donnell is book 3. I don't have book 4, but the next one, book 5, is Brass Chains by Donna Kelly. Then I have this one, which is book 6, Proper Tension. I have book 8, Double Strand Deception by K.D. McCreight. I'm sorry, Proper Tension is by Karen Kelly. And then the last one that I have is number 10, Toxic Designs. I am going to guess that this is a 12-book series because I do know for a fact that this other series I have is a 12-book series, and I think that's what they have started doing with these extra secondary series once they finished this one. If in fact this one is finished. I actually don't know. But my sister has read this series. It's the Annie's Quilted Mysteries. And she says there are 12 of these. She's read them all and really enjoyed them. Each book has its own mystery, but then there is one overarching storyline that is worked through, throughout the series. So this is book 1, A Patchwork Murder. I don't own all of these. She doesn't either, but she got them from her library. This one is by Jan Fields. And this one is book 2, Raven Threads. It is by K.D. McCreight. And I think this is book 4, so I don't have book 3. Broderie Curse by Jan Fields. I'm not a big fan of these covers, but this continues to be my favorite title of a cozy mystery of all time. Innocent Until Proven Quilty by Donna Kelly. And it is book 5. Then the last one I have from this series is book 7, A Deadly Pattern by Elizabeth Penny. And then just a couple of other Annie series that I just have a start of. This is the Vineyard Quilts Mysteries, book 1, Threads of Deceit. It is by May Fox and Jan Fields. This series takes place in Missouri wine country, and I am not a drinker and not really interested in wine, but I picked these up because it also had quilt in the series title. So I just found these somewhere, maybe at a fill-a-bag sale, and thought since they were a quilt theme, I would go ahead and grab them. I will probably pass these on to my sister. Number 2 is Pattern of Betrayal, and it is also by May Fox, but its second author is Amy Lillard. And then I have one of this series. I think someone gave me this, The Secrets of the Castleton Manor Library. It says on the back that this takes place in an upscale literary retreat. This is book 3, The Grim Reader, and I don't know anything else about the series other than that. And I'm intrigued, though. I would love to find the first 2 of these and read this series. So that is all of the Annie's mysteries that I have, and I guess that's about all of the cozy mysteries that I... Okay, and just to wrap this up, it is now a couple of weeks later. I filmed most of the segments of this video before our trip to North Carolina, but I just didn't have time to put it all together because I wanted to show you the finished shelves when I got them all back up. And so I just didn't have time to get that done until after our trip. So here we are. Here we have my Cozy Mystery shelves. The upper shelf has mass market paperbacks, and those are triple stacked. And then the lower shelf are hardcovers and trade paperbacks, and those are double stacked. So I did end up removing some because there just wasn't room to put everything back. And on my trip, I have bought a few more. I did save some space in the second stack, which you can't see from this view, but I do have space saved for some of the new ones that I bought. So I will have to do another book haul video to show you what I bought on our vacation. But what I took off of the shelves that I did not put back are what's in this box, and I'm going to add these to my TBR jar. So I showed you the bin that had the series that are in my fiction TBR jar, and these are going to be added to that. These are books from series that I only have one or two of, and I don't necessarily plan to collect. So I just need to get those read and pass those on. So those will go in my TBR jar. So then up above that, I've been doing a little bit of work with my Amish fiction, trying to get some of that organized. I normally have my my Christmas fiction in the back and Amish fiction in the front, but it was overflowing because I have bought some Amish fiction lately, some new to me Amish fiction. And so I have boxed up a lot of my Christmas books and pushed some of the Amish books to the back, and then I have quite a bit to show you in a haul video that I need to put up on the shelf when I get that video done. So that's why there's some empty space up there, if you can see there. There, you see, normally this is double stacked as well, and I only have a few books in the front stack. And then when it's Christmas time, I will get out the Christmas books, and I will probably just put those on my staging shelf, which is in the living room. That way they're on display at Christmas time. So that is about all I want to show you in this video. I have shown you my entire Cozy Mystery collection. I will be passing some of these on to other people as I read them, or whatever's good enough to resell or get credit for at the used bookstore. I do that a lot. Well, not a lot. I do it some. And so I don't plan to keep all of these forever, mainly just until I read them. There are a few series that I will hang on to indefinitely, but this is my collection at this moment. And I appreciate you coming along with me on this journey to sort and just organize my Cozy Mysteries. If you missed any of the other videos, there are 3 other videos where I took you through the alphabet, or the authors by alphabet, and I will link those down below. So that's all for this video and for this series. Thank you for joining me. I hope you are having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.